Okay, welcome back to the channel, Football HQ with Coach K. I'm going to go to the third installment of QB School, and today we'll talk about attacking specific coverages. So we've done how to recognize those coverages in video one, video two, what to look for at the line of scrimmage pre-snap and a little bit of post-snap. And then now today, once you see those coverages, how are we going to attack them? And I'll say, every coaching staff and offensive coach might have a different perspective. So if you're a player watching this, then realize that obviously your coach will work with you on that. But these are some very general ways, and then a few specific ways that we do it as well, or that we might do in the future. So enjoy, learn, leave a comment if you want. I've gotten some good feedback so far. I'm excited about that. So let's go to part three: attacking cover three. Okay, in video one of this series, if you'll go back and check it out, if you didn't, we talked about cover three and how to identify it. Obviously, the big thing is looking for that one high safety. So here's a kind of a basic draw up. This would be a 3-4 cover three look right here. Again, the strengths of cover three are the underneath zones. You've got four of them covered, as you see right there. Now, if it's depending on the front that you're seeing, but notice that the underneath zones are protected pretty well, but there's some gaps in the three deep zone there that you see. Basically, wherever it's dark green and there's no circle is a place you want to attack. So cover three, a couple notes about it. It is a defense that is designed to stop the run. You have that instead of having two high safeties and four defensive backs, you have an extra guy near the box who can defend the run a little bit better. So sometimes this dictates that you need to throw the ball. It's a very solid defense, a very solid coverage. It puts the free safety in a tough spot. You see, he's got a lot of field to cover. Obviously, cover four, you divide up the 53-yard field in four different sections, and now you're taking the 53-yard field and dividing it into 17-yard sections on a high school football field. So it's just a little bit different. There's different ways to attack it. Of course, again, you see the seams, first of all, right down the middle. You see the flat area as well. Okay, you get the ball. Those are the two areas you really need to attack: the seams and the flats. As far as who to attack, we'll get into that in the next slide as well. But you want to find the outside linebacker that you think is the weakest in coverage, and go after that person. Get your inside slot receiver, who should be a speedy person, a fast athlete, and get them in a matchup with that person. That's something that you really want to do against cover three. So here's a first look at a cover three beater. And, I like to do a lot of play fakes against cover three just to hold these, usually four linebackers, hold them to make them respect the run just for a second while your faster guys are getting out into a route. So one thing we like to do, and we'll just focus on the right half of the screen for right now and come back to the other half in a little bit later, is do what we call wrap a linebacker or wrap a defender. When you're wrapping, it's not just a straight curl. Okay, you have to get around that defender, unless they just drop, crazy like 5-7 yard deep, then you get underneath them. But they're taught to wall you off, to get their hands on you. And as you do that, eventually you're going to get behind them and their back is going to be to you, or their back will go to the quarterback. But either way, you're going to get them turned a little bit, and they're either going to lose sight of you or lose sight of the quarterback, you being a receiver from that perspective. And then you curl back to the football. The fake that you've made should hold this backer just for a second, and you're just making an easy throw right here into space. Just a one-on-one matchup. Again, we've decided that this is the weakest guy in coverage, and so that's who we're going after. Doing a wrap curl, like we like to call it, but you've got to get your receiver to get around that defender and then come back to the ball. Okay, drawing that up again on the Go Army Edge app. Again, you see I've got the cover three defense there. I've got the one high safety, corners in this case, at 10 yards off the ball. We've decided that this is the man that is the weakest, so we're going to try to wrap him with our Y receiver, who very well might be our best athlete. Again, I'm not the greatest animator or play fake, and I didn't draw the weak side of the field. I just drew this side. So we get a little backpedaling, and again, you can try to wall him off, try to get his hands on and reroute him. So what you've got to do as what your receiver needs to do is avoid that wall just a little bit, and then wrap around them, something like that, and then the throw comes, and you get him right in front. But you've got him in a back pedal, and again, I can't really animate it as well as I'd like, but you get that guy kind of turned around a little bit, and then it's one-on-one, and then you've got some space to work in. All right. So that's just a simple way just to go after their weakest man in coverage, perhaps the guy that's the poorest athlete of the outside linebackers. Get them isolated and get a wrap and get the ball moving. Oftentimes, the weakest in coverage is an inside linebacker, which is why they're there. And it's hard to get an outside receiver, or at least get a slot receiver in there. You can do it, but it takes a little bit longer. But you can definitely use a tight end to take advantage of that. Have them wrap, the Sam or whatever linebacker is over them. So that's another way you can make that happen as well. That's just a play I drew up, but especially with the curl from the tight end. So if you do. If you want to get after the inside linebacker, a great way to do that is to use a tight end, or a sniffer, or some kind of wing back, somebody that's tight to the formation that can get into those linebackers quickly. Next play, and this is what you'll hear a lot from a lot of coaches, how to attack cover three, and they're right, is 4 verts. It's traditional air raid passing play. You've got 4 guys going vertical. Now, there's so many different ways to run the 4 verts. Sometimes you just send all 4 guys, straight down the field. A lot of times, you'll be reading the coverage, and Mike Leach, who was at Texas Tech, Washington State, now Mississippi State, kind of perfected this, and he just called it the 6 play. And even though it might look different every time you run it, the dashes here show that if your outside receiver has not closed the gap on the cushion on the corner, then he's going to break it off, and that throw gets made a lot. But as far as how, and that can be against any coverage, but as far as attacking cover 3 specifically, you want to attack the seams here between the safety and the corner. And on the snap, again, I like the play fake. I always like to give a little play fake, maybe just a little bitty one, but hold these 4 backers just for a count. And your eyes don't put your eyes on the receiver. Okay, put your eyes right on this free safety. He's going to be wrong if he flies one way or the other. All right. For me, a rule is this is our rhythm, or our first read in the progression. And if this is the alignment, with the ball a little bit to the left side of the field, and we want to run this from the left hash or left upright. We want to throw it right as we break. This is not a deep ball, even though it's called 4 verts. We want to throw about an 8 to 12 yard ball. If he does not fly over to this, we're throwing. Okay. If he does fly over to it, now since we are on the left side of the field, you can still run this vertical, but the corner could definitely play both if he's a good athlete and if you're in tight quarters. So I like to tag a little dig to the weak side. So once that free safety is vacated, you're just hitting it in between these linebackers. But 4 verts, there's so many ways to run it. So many different coaches do different things, but 4 verts is a staple of attacking cover 3. Let's look at it in animation. Okay, let's talk about 4 vertical against cover 3. And again, some defenses won't do this, but we've faced plenty that will see a 2x2 set and just have 1 high safety. And that's it's risky, but also it can pay off if you have a great athlete at free safety and you can get more guys in the box to stop the run. So we have our 1 high safety. We have our corners at about 8 yards. All right, we're in the left hash here. Again, we like to run this from a hash to give us a dig on the weak side. So it's not a true 4 verticals. He's going to break it off, but for 10 yards, it's going to be 4 verts. And we're still going to attack these 2 seams. Look at the space. Again, you can see sometimes it's just common sense. Where's the open area? And there's all kinds of space right here. We've got good splits from our receivers. So again, we're going to give a little fake to draw the linebackers. That wasn't the best fake in the animation. Now, my eyes are on the free safety, and he's doing an awkward, but he's going to backpedal towards the field and towards the Y. So, and as of right now, this backer is in a little bit of a backpedal as well. So, really, to tell you the truth, I'm going to put a pretty tough spot into this window. I mean, the animation probably is not as good as it might be, but I've got 2 defenders who are kind of converging on this throw, as well as a corner. So if you look at it, this side of the field is 3-on-2. But now, so if we go through our scan, So if we scan the other side of the field, I see a lot of space opening up, and we're going to come just right inside here. All right, and then you see where the dig's going to come. Okay, right there, and we have that throw. So in this scenario, that's what we want to throw. But again, we're going to attack the weak side linebacker. We're attacking the vertical lanes right there. Now, just a couple of notes there. That's how I drew it up. If you watch the X receiver over here, if he's doing a conversion route, so he has not closed the gap on this defender at 10 yards or wherever you might want to make it. So he's going to break it off, and we'll have an out route right here. All right. So but on the other side, this receiver has closed the gap somewhat right there, I guess. So he's going to continue on his route. So again, that's an option that some coaches will put into their reads on four verts. But again, I like to just read the inside of the field and make the free safety wrong, put him in a bad spot. Okay, next look is going back to the play from previous. Let's say for some reason we don't like this curl, or this is a great defender right here. So another way to attack cover three is just the curl flat concept on the weak side of the field. All right. On a post curl, we always assume that our receiver can beat this corner and get open. He's going to come back to the football. So that gives us a read of this weak side linebacker. Again, we're putting this guy in conflict, who we think is their weakest defender. It's a pretty simple read. Again, I still have the play fake. I still like that. But we're running a speed out, all right? And he can either stay in this area and kind of drop to his hook to curl, giving us the speed out, or he can fly out here to the flats, which he probably will do based on our knowledge of cover three, opening up this route right here. And again, our fake has hopefully held this guy for a count. So we make it one play fake. We put our eyes right here. Again, don't look at the receivers, look at the defender. And we've got a high-low read, pretty easy read, curl flat. So pretty much, we've attacked the weak linebacker, we've attacked the seams, and now we have attacked the flats. All right, and that's really the places to attack in cover three. Okay, then the last concept that we'll talk about as a cover three beater I call it the snag concept. Some people call it the spot concept. I have referred to the spot concept as something else in a previous video, but you can call any play what you want to call it, but this is what it looks like. It's a kind of a three-level attack, and you see, I've got it. You're reading the outside linebacker flat defender. Again, if you get cover three against trips, which is not always common, but if you get it, you're going to assume pre-snap that the corner is going to drop to take away your corner route, but you got to peek at it, you got to check it to be sure he is doing that. And then once that happens, it's just kind of a 2-on-1 thing where you've got your spot concept, or your snag, as I call it, 5, kind of a back to 3, settling in a zone, or a speed out. Now, it's possible that this backer, that these two could come out here and defend these two, but then on the weak side, you've got a pretty good matchup where you can get a little natural rub with your X receiver kind of getting a little pick here, and the corner is going to naturally go in with this at first, and you get this kind of a little quick flare to the running back. So let's look at that in an animated sense, the snag concept. You'll see the defense is in that same look, and we've got our trips look here, and you can definitely see one high safety, cover 3. He's a little, I have him drawn up at 6, but the one high safety, and he's at 7. Definitely a cover 3 look. So again, you've got your kind of flare, your little combo right here, and almost always, especially with him bailing at the snap or going in with the snag route, he is assigned to the running back, and it's a good matchup right there. So we talk about attacking a weak linebacker or a weak side linebacker. That's a good place to look. But for us here, again, our first look is the corner. All right, we're going to peek to be sure that our corner route has been taken away, and we see that he's taking it away. He's backpedaling. All right, and now you've got your 2-on-1 right here. You've got your little settle snag and your speed out. And I don't have him moving, but he would choose one or the other. In this case, probably go ahead and throw the speed out. Again, if they match up with that, if this backer flies out and they kind of get a 2-for-2 matchup, which is really hard to do because you've got kind of good leverage and get an advantage here. You do have the weak side, right here. We can just throw our swing or flare route. So, and snag is something that is really good against any coverage. I like it against cover 4. Against man, I like to throw the corner route. It's kind of a built-in multi coverage beater, and you see a lot of teams running it. It's very effective, and we've had a lot of success too. So that's cover 3. There's many other ways to do it. Those are just a few ideas. Let me know any that you have. I'd love to hear about them and exchange ideas. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you subscribe and come back for the next one. We'll look at cover 4.